All right, great. Good evening and welcome to the Hanson Select Board meeting of November 8th, 2025. This meeting is being recorded by Whitman Hanson Community Access Television. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We have quite a full agenda this evening, but before we dive in, Mr. Hill, may I prevail upon you to read the announcements?
Sure. We are looking for citizens at large to become members of the following committees. The Bylaw Committee, which is a 3-year term with 3 openings available out of 5. The Cable and Internet Committee, which is also a 3-year term with 3 openings available out of 5. The Capital Improvement Committee, which is a 3-year term with 1 opening available out of 5. The Energy Committee, which is an annual term with 2 openings available out of 5. The Historical Commission is a 3-year term with 2 openings available out of 5. And the Memorial Day and Patriotic Observance Committee, which is an annual term, 1-year term, with 3 openings available out of 5. Volunteer applications may be found at the town website, www.hanson-mass.gov, or by calling the Select Board's office at 781-293-2131. The Hanson Public Library is offering tours of the building at 10 a.m. on the first Saturday of every month from November to May. The library received a grant to design a renovated and expanded facility, and residents are invited to learn about the current building's challenges and the plan to address them as part of the renovation. There's a flag retirement ceremony in honor of Veterans Day. The Hanson Troop 68 will hold a flag retirement ceremony on November 24th, 2025, I believe, at Town Hall lawn from 6 to 7:30. A half-drum steel container will be used to retire the flags in a small fire. Citizens will be invited to attend and bring any flags that need to be retired. The next 3 Select Board meetings are December 2nd, 2025, December 16th, 2025, and January 13th, 2026.
Hard to believe. All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. First up for new business, we've got a classification hearing with the town assessor, so I will entertain a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay, great. And welcome to our new town assessor, Denise Alexander.
Good evening. So I am Denise Alexander, the town assessor here in Hanson, and I'm here tonight to present to our Board of Selectmen the fiscal year 2026 classification hearing. And with me tonight I have my Board of Assessors. I have Ann Merlin and Trish O'Kane and Sue Shields. So we're going to start right in. We'll go to slide 2. So tonight, the Select Board has 3 actions to take, 3 votes that need to be made tonight from the Select Board. The first one is selecting the residential factor for fiscal year 2026, and that is whether or not to have a single or a split rate here in Hanson. The second vote of the evening is whether or not to adopt the residential exemption, and the third is whether or not to adopt the small commercial exemption. On slide 3, I have a pie chart showing you, basically Hanson is obviously primarily a residential community. We have 92% residential with 8%, 7.7% combined with industrial, commercial, and personal property. So we are primarily a residential community here. My next slide just shows the board some shifts that I put in here, if they were to do a split rate, what it would look like for the tax rates between residential, commercial, and industrial and personal property. So you'll see residential goes down slightly, commercial, industrial, and personal property the tax rates do increase there with the shifts. On the next slide, this is, again, the shifts, but this way you're looking at it with the you're looking at average values for our one family, I've got one family, I've got residential as a whole, and average commercial industrial values, and what the tax bills look like with a uniform tax rate, meaning a single, and then with the shifts. So you can see that, if you look at the uniform for commercial, industrial, it's 9,157 for their average commercial industrial property tax bill. And then if I go to the next slide, going to 25% shift, you can see commercial industrial, if we did a shift of 25, would be $11,446 tax bill for that one. Moving, any questions so far? Move it right along. The next slide shows a 3-year comparison, and it's on the values of single-family, residential condominiums, and commercial industrial properties. So you can see we've had, no increase in our tax rate, 24, 25, 26, they've pretty much, maintained 24 and 25, and 26, it actually looks like the estimated tax rate will go down, looks like a 1306. So based on those values, you can see the tax bills and what they would look like there. Next slide. This is just another way of looking at it. You can see the, values gone up over the past 3 years here. Condos didn't, they kind of maintained, this year, from last. And a lot of the condos that are going in the new construction are not, you know, at assessment date, they weren't at full value. They were probably like 50%, or some of them weren't even constructed really. And they're selling right now. So those will, might change that a little bit next year based on the sales and such. That's why it's stagnant there, I think. And then at this point, Hanson has such a small rate of commercial property that adopting, a split rate would shift the larger burden onto the commercial, industrial, and the personal property owners. Hanson Select Board have always voted to maintain a single tax rate for this reason. The Board of Assessors have recommended a uniform tax rate for FY '26, and this will be your first vote of the evening, as to whether or not to adopt a uniform tax rate or a split tax rate.
Okay,
Can I make a motion?
well, I
Not
just
yet.
want, it is a hearing, so I want to make sure
Okay,
if anybody's
yes.
got any comments. Is there anybody that wanted to make any comments or had any questions?
I have one little question.
Sure.
Where does Proposition 2.5 come in on this?
So, there's a constraint on the levy as a whole, so like, it's based on last year's levy limit, that's what it starts with, last year's levy limit, and then the 2.5% is the maximum that we're allowed to increase the levy to. But in
To
addition to
increase
that,
the
we do have new
total
growth,
levy.
new growth can be added to it.
Right, because you mentioned you didn't increase the tax rate. I you know.
Tax
like the-
rate is separate,
In order to keep it at 2.5, the total levy, you had to.
the tax rate's based on the actual estimated levy divided by the total value for the
Okay.
town this year. That gives you your tax rate. So it's a little bit different than what you're thinking on that, the
Yeah,
other.
I'm assuming that's a question
Yep.
other people are gonna be.
No, thank you for
asking.
asking, it's a
Yeah,
great
and I
question.
think a lot of people are gonna hear, oh, the tax rate might go down. Are my taxes going to go
No.
down? Will I pay less in taxes?
Right, as you can
Um,
see on this, the values actually did go up. And that's really based on, they're from prior year sales, so our values are at 100% fair market value based on, sales that already happened in '24. So because of that, and the sales being as they are, it have been increasing, and that's why the values have then, it hits our values that way.
And I think,
Thank
historically, we have voted not to split the rate, and I think, you know, if we're looking at, as a town, trying to attract businesses and keep the
Right.
businesses that are here,
Yeah.
and we've had a couple of new really promising new
No, it's nice,
businesses,
yeah.
come to town, then we, you know, we might wanna take that under consideration.
Yep.
So did anybody else have any questions or comments that they wanted to make? Okay, so, seeing none, let's jump right into the vote. So the first vote is, the recommendation is the residential tax exemption. The Board of Assessors has recommended that a residential exemption not be adopted, so I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Did you want to make a motion that the, residential tax exemption not be adopted?
I will second
I
that.
want to make the motion that we keep it the same as it is.
Okay,
So how do we say that?
That
so
we what?
you need to.
Do you want me to read and explain
would
what it
be
is?
amazing.
All right,
Thank you.
so the first one was the tax rate. Did you wanna wait on that votes till I finish the residential and commercial exemptions?
Yes,
Okay. So there's 3 votes. The first was the split and single rate, and this next one is residential tax exemption. The residential tax exemption is for property owners of residential property who own and occupy their property. A percentage is applied to exempt a dollar amount of value that is exempt from the taxation. Typically, this is adopted in communities that have a high rate of rental properties, such as large cities and resort communities, like Boston, Brookline, Cambridge, and the Cape and the Islands. It's the responsibility of the select board to decide if the residential exemption will be adopted by the town of Hanson, and the Board of Assessors has consistently recommended that the residential exemption not be adopted. Historically, Hanson has opted not to adopt it as well.
okay. And then did you just want, you might as
I
well
can
go
go
to
right
the-
into
and
it,
then
yep.
we'll circle back and
Sure.
take a vote on each one.
Yep, small commercial exemption. The adoption of a small commercial exemption, this provision does not guarantee that the reduction in taxes will be passed on to our small business owners, as the exemption is applied to only the real estate. According to the Department of Employment and Training, Hanson has 37 businesses which would qualify if they were situated in a property assessed under $1 million. 20 businesses rent or lease properties, yet do not own them, and would only benefit if the property owner passed the savings on to the business owner. Only 17 business owners would benefit from this exemption in Hanson. It's the responsibility of the select board to decide on the small commercial exemption, whether or not to adopt it, and the Board of Assessors has consistently recommended that a small commercial exemption not be adopted. Historically, we have not adopted that small commercial exemption.
Okay, so, we've got 3 actions that we need to take, and the first is, the residential, factor for fiscal year 2026, which is whether we split, the rates to be different for residential, and commercial. And the Board of Assessors has recommended, and historically, we have, also, gone along with this, that we not, adopt a different rate for, commercial than we have for residential. What says the board, what do you say?
I agree, I think
Okay.
we should stay.
All right, so I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great. And then, the second is whether or not to adopt a residential exemption, and again, they have voted, against, that, or they're not recommending that we vote to adopt a residential exemption. Do we want to, follow suit? Typically, we have followed suit with, since the Board of Assessors is a separately
Yes.
elected board
Yep.
to make these decisions, we typically support whatever recommendations
So
they
I
make.
move that we do not adopt a residential exemption.
Okay?
Second?
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And then last, is the small commercial exemption, which again, the Board of Assessors has, recommended that we, not adopt a small commercial exemption.
I agree, but I'd like to move on that also.
Okay.
No,
So I'll
no
second that.
commercial.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think that's it.
Then I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
You know what, I'm
Oh,
sorry, there is
uh-oh.
something more, sorry.
Never
I
mind.
did wanna give a thank you, a shout out there for our financial team here, Eric Kinship, and our treasure collector, Lisa Clark, and also Jessica, and I know I'm gonna say her name wrong, but Francescini, our new clerk. It's, great working with them, and we have a great financial team here. Also, I must let you know that the excess levy capacity, to notify the board that excess levy capacity is 50,140. It doesn't require a vote, it's just notification as part of the classification requirement.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
agree. I agree, we have a fantastic financial
We
team.
do.
And we thank you guys for all of the hard work that you did to get to this point. So I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was
Good to
very-
see you.
Good to see you all too.
And we'll plan on same time next year.
Yes, well,
Okay.
yes, definitely.
All right, next up, we've got housing production plan approval, and I thought I saw Mr. DeFrias in our audience trying to hide in the back, but not being successful.
I didn't drink the water, so you're welcome to have it.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but I do remember you coming to speak with us.
Yes, Karen Sonneborn.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Tony, do you want that on the projector?
No, I think we can,
Okay.
we can handle this.
I was gonna say, I didn't know we had another presentation.
No, I think we can handle this.
Okay, all right.
So, Tony Fry's now Karen Sonneborn?
Sonneborn.
Sonneborn.
It's all right, I never expect people to get it right, or to spell it right or anything.
Karen S.
Yeah.
Karen is our consultant and who's been assisting us with our housing production plan. As the board knows, we've been going through this process for 9 months, almost a year.
Yeah.
So, the last time we were here, it was before town meeting, we were still addressing the MBTA issue. And there was a section of the housing production plan, that the select board, which addressed MBTA zoning,
Yes.
that the board had some concerns and questions regarding the language. Karen had made adjustments to that section to address the board's concerns. And obviously now, since town meeting, the town, Hanson has adopted MBTA zoning. And as a sidebar, we did receive notice from the HLC that our application is complete, and we are now in interim compliance. We're still waiting for their final and also the Attorney General's review of the bylaw. So with that said, that section, again, Karen has made some adjustments and has just noted the fact that the town has adopted MBTA zoning. It starts on page 67. It's a short section, and unless there was any further questions from the board or concerns, we would be looking or asking the select board to approve the housing production plan so that we can move it on, Karen can move it on to the state.
I think the only question I would have is there is an active petition to repeal that at the state level, so I would just want to make sure that whatever we've got in our housing production plan doesn't unnecessarily bind us to the extent that that would get repealed. And I know that is a bit of a long shot, but I just want to make sure we're being thoughtful.
Okay. No, Karen, you have any?
That if you wanted to add that language, we could do that.
I think
We're basically
yeah.
saying we're, the town has moved to meet the requirements. And,
Yeah, that we've met the requirements,
Yeah.
and to the extent required, that it's continued to be required by the state, some little caveat to that extent, I think is just sort of what we would want. Just so, again, we're not binding ourselves to something should the legislation change. And again, I know it's a Hail Mary, but stranger things have happened.
So would you like to consider approving it subject to that edit?
What do people think about that?
That sounds fine.
Okay, yeah, so I will entertain a motion to approve the housing production plan with that minor tweak.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Amazing, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for persevering.
That's all right.
I just want to give you one additional quick piece of information. Our subsidized housing inventory, we received from the HLC. So as of September 30th, 2025, Hanson currently stands at 4.95%. And that could be subject to change, obviously, as more units might come on from certain projects. But right now, our SHI says we have 194 units.
And in your email, you had said what project that you thought
Liberty
was...
Woods may have a few other units that
Okay,
have
all right.
not been sort of accounted for, so
Yep.
that number could
So
adjust.
we're not gonna hit 10% tomorrow.
No time
sir.
soon, don't hold your breath, Ed. Yeah.
But I mean, comparatively to some other communities that are close to us, Hanson's in a lot better shape, I'll say, or closer to the number. So.
I was surprised with Hanover having 10%, and then I thought about it, and I thought, well, they have done a lot of building and they've got a lot of apartments, but when I ever looked at the list, I was like, wow, they're above the 10%.
They have been for a while.
Yeah, I don't know why that
Couple
shocked
big
me.
projects.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
rental projects.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
And
exactly.
the, interesting part is, we're actually higher than Whitman.
Ah.
Whitman's at 3.48.
Oh, so who's higher, who's at 10%?
Hanover,
Oh, of course
which,
they
you
are.
know, I know, I mean, they've got all that stuff over
No,
by
I
the
knew
mall
they
and blah,
were,
blah,
yeah.
blah, but, I don't know why it just jumped out, man, but that is an interesting little factoid for a cocktail party, to say that we have got more affordable housing than Whitman does. Interesting.
I thought we were the rich town, just saying.
We're the rich town
We're
with
the
more
rich town with
affordable
more
housing.
affordable housing,
Yep.
that's right.
Great. Stirring the bee's nest, Mr. DeFrias. All right, well, thank you so much, you guys, really appreciate it. Yep. All right, next up, we've got vote to surplus the 2017 ambulance, Lucas CPR devices, and a power lift stretcher. And I think we've got chief and deputy, are you guys both coming up, are you gonna tag team, what's going on? Okay, yep. And I wanna say, Select Board Member Rain and I were just over at the fire station and with the Plymouth County Commissioners to sort of show them the things that the money that they had given us through ARPA had bought, and to kind of keep that partnership alive and well, and I think they were extremely impressed. And I know, Ann and I were very impressed, as usual. It's
cool.
With you guys. So, it's ridiculous how impressed I am all the time. But we thank you for that. And remember, we get to look at the photos before they're published.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. That said, let's talk about the surplus.
Yep, so we're looking to surplus the ambulance, the power lift stretcher that is part of the ambulance, and there's 2 Lucas CPR devices that we're looking to surplus also. The town accountant and I and the acting town administrator, I've met and discussed this with them. There's a company out there called, I believe it's called At Garage, or My Garage, but anyway, the town of Duxbury's used them and other companies have, other municipalities have. Instead of just putting it out to public bid, where you're only getting $2,000, $5,000 maybe for it. This actually goes on almost like a Facebook marketplace type of website where other municipalities across the country and even US territories can bid on it.
Wow.
They are the ones that are responsible for all of the costs and everything. Basically, we provide the truck, they send a crew out to photograph it, our in-house photographer, as you guys met today, he'll actually do it for them, and then we give them all of the maintenance records and things like that as to what is going on with that ambulance. I can tell you the town of Duxbury got rid of a brush breaker that was, I believe it was approximately 40 years old, and they got over $30,000 for it.
Now,
So-
what's the chain of custody financially? Like, who holds that money and how does that
So
all
the way that
work?
it would work, and we set this up with Eric, that we'll set up an account through, I'm gonna call it a bank or a clearinghouse, that's where the money goes, and once the money goes in there, then the town of Hanson gets it directly. And one thing that the town accountant and I have talked about is where that money came out of the ambulance account, he's gonna earmark that money off to the side, because we're in the process now of getting prices for a new fire engine, and I hate to tell you that they're $1 million and it takes 3 years to build, but that is the reality. So the town accountant and I are coming up with some creative financing, and this was one of the ways that we can defray that cost off of the cost of the engine before going to the town meeting to find out how town meeting wants to support it, so.
Okay.
Everything's $1 million now.
Everything it is crazy.
Did the board have any questions for the chief? Okay, well,
Oh,
thanks
no,
for.
I just-
Oh, you did.
So,
Yeah.
was the Lucas CPR devices in that ambulance?
There
They're
was
just
one
over?
there is one that is in there, town meeting last year authorized the spending for 2 of those.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah, because they were telling us all about that. It was pretty impressive.
yes. Yeah, we've got a very impressive group.
I mean, I never want to have an
Paramedics,
ambulance
no.
show up at my house, but I feel like if I did,
Yeah.
we've got the best one,
They do a
so.
great
Thank you.
job.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
taken many buggy rides
Oh,
in the
boy.
ambulance. Too many.
All right, I will entertain a motion to declare the 2017 ambulance Lucas CPR device and power lift stretcher as surplus.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, now on to licensee checklist, Hanson Inspectional Task Force, lay it on
I'm gonna
us.
give this one actually to
Yeah.
the deputy, because he
Okay.
actually came up with a great concept, as everybody here knows, a little more than, over a year ago, I think it's actually been a couple of years, we came up with the Inspectional Services Task Force. And that is made up of, the majority of the departments in town hall. It is, right now, the main group is, fire, board of health, conservation, building, but then we will bring the assessors in. We've actually brought the police in before, depending on what we're looking at for a property. And I'll let the deputy talk about, but he actually came up with a great way for all the licensing in town to make it nice and easy, that every department sees what license needs to go out, and I'll let him explain all of that. So, him sign off.
So last year, when it came time for, common vic licenses as well as, liquor licenses for all, the businesses in town, we, from the fire department aspect, we inspect annually there. The issue becomes that once they come up for inspection, we look at it, they're good, but then we don't see them again for another year. Things fall off in that time frame. Maybe they're not right on top of it. But if we're gonna issue them a new license for the year moving forward, then everything should be up to code. With our meetings that we have every Tuesday with the task force, one of the things we decided was a good way, this isn't like a scavenger hunt for people to go around and try to get the signatures, but the idea is that, by going to each department, they're now signing off that they are complete with everything that they need. So when it does come to you guys, and last year, not that it was a problem, but, the board voted to, blanket all of the liquor licenses and the common vics. And then as people got their items complete, they were issued their business license. The problem was that some places said, well, it's already been voted on, we've got it.
We're not gonna bother.
I don't have to go until next year.
We didn't have leverage.
There was no
Yeah.
leverage there.
Yeah.
So by this, in working with the selectman's office, this is kind of the opportunity where we get to see that person and say, hey, your sprinkler system's not up to date, your fire alarm system's not up to date. That's all gotta be done before you even apply for your application. So it puts a time frame on them, and it gets it done. We're actually finding now where there are people that, it hasn't, they're like, oh, I didn't even know I had to do that. So it's coming out now and it's getting done. So this is just a simple way, in the future, maybe this could be something that we look at it, putting online to have it or something so that people don't have to do the travel. But this was our first stab at trying to take and make something to make people accountable.
I love it. I love the
For-
collaboration, and it helps our office because, of course, we always grill them,
Sure.
have they passed all the da-da-da?
Sure.
Are all the taxes paid, or all the da-da-da before we issue the thing? So this puts gives everybody like a common understanding of what we're looking for before we can issue a license.
Sure.
Yeah,
And these ladies
Yeah.
have been phenomenal, because they've called with questions and things, and the two of them have been excellent.
well, they're rock
helping us with
stars.
it. They are
you know
rock stars,
that, yeah.
without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Okay, did anybody have any questions?
This is, checklist?
So that was a form that gets sent out to each business with the common vic as well as the liquor license.
That's great.
I think it's great, and I love the inspectional task force. I just think, when we all share information, we're much more effective, and more powerful, and it's less frustrating for the people that we're dealing with, so,
100%.
yeah, we really appreciate it. So, did you want us to officially sanction it by taking a vote, or are you just, is this seeking forgiveness, not permission
Yeah,
type of thing? or-
basically.
Okay. Well, why don't we just, we'll take a vote. So all in favor of approving, the list here? Okay, checklist, okay. Second? Okay, all in favor? All right, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Oh, you too.
Yep, you too.
Thank you.
And then next up, we've got, vote to approve the use of lawn signs on town property for 11/29/25 Sip and Stroll. We have a, regulation, on the books that says that anytime people want to use town property to put on, like this type of thing, that they should get permission. I'm not sure we've, consistently, enforce that, but, with our new building commissioner and being, you know, on top of this, and with people asking, what do we need to do, we thought, no time like the present. I will entertain a motion, to approve the, use of lawn signs on town property, and there's it's very, you know, benign, it's like, just sip and shop on such and such a date type of thing.
We don't have to know like what town property and how many.
I think when he's saying town property, I believe he means town hall, did he clarify that?
He also said,
They mean the islands.
traffic
They
islands.
mean the traffic islands.
Traffic islands.
Everybody does.
That's fine. So, all right, so,
Everybody does.
so I will entertain a motion to approve, the, in front of Town Hall and then traffic islands, for the 11/29/25 sip and stroll. And hopefully they will remove them immediately after the event is over, because it's quite annoying when they stay up afterwards.
So moved.
Okay,
Second,
all in favor? Amazing.
do we need a date that they're gone by, or
No, I mean, no, we
hopefully
just,
they'll just be done? Okay.
don't be rude and pick them up the day after the event. Okay, old business, not a ton of old business. I am trying to think where the heck the piece is from, all right, I got it. Meeting minutes, I will entertain a motion, to approve the open, meeting minutes from September 30th, 2025, October 14th, 2025, and October 28th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Amazing. One-day liquor licenses, we have got 11/23/25, Hatch Engagement Party, and 1/3/26, Madero's Birthday Party. I will entertain a motion to approve those liquor licenses.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Great. Committee updates, not too much. We are on the Economic Development Committee. We are looking at, I believe it's the third week in February, to, have another Hanson Business Summit. If you recall, we had our inaugural event last year. It was very well attended. We got a lot of feedback. We've already got a whole slate of people that have agreed to present on things like using social media in your business, firewalls in your business, and security in your business. And these are all local businesses that are gonna be presenting to other local, businesses. We're hoping that we will also get, similar to what we did last year, some of the folks from Town Hall, like Building Commissioner, the Town Planner, Board of Health, all of the land use boards, so that if anybody's thinking of expanding their business, or they've had any concerns with, you know, their footprint, that they've got right now, that they'd have somebody, Johnny on the spot right there, that they could talk to. That will be held at Camp Kawani, more details to follow. Any updates on High Street Park Committee?
No, but we are gonna be starting to kick the meetings back up with the MBTA stuff sorted, so I'm hoping to call a meeting sooner than later.
Cool, because you'll actually maybe get money.
That, yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
that was the biggest holdup.
Yeah. Highway Committee,
No, there's nothing.
okay, great. Whitman Hanson Regional School Agreement Committee, we haven't had a meeting, and I don't know when we will. Any other committee updates?
I've got a couple for the Energy Committee.
Yeah, go for it.
This one's from the Homeworks Energy. Hanson residents should watch their mailboxes for information about the town's new partnership with Homeworks Energy, bringing no-cost home energy assessments and weatherization services through the Mass Save program. The partnership officially launched in October and will continue with door-to-door outreach plan to help residents access these energy-saving opportunities that can reduce energy bills between 20 and 30%. People should be expecting a card or something in the mail.
Little postcard or something?
After the Thanksgiving holiday.
Okay.
And then there was another one. Just so people that know, I'm not sure that many people are using heat pumps, to heat their house. If you're using a heat pump and have not registered with the, electric company, if you register your heat pump with the electric company, they'll give you a special rate, on your electricity because you're using it to heat the house.
And does that, count if you're using the community aggregation?
I believe it does.
Okay, all right,
I'm pretty sure it does.
that's good info.
That's all I
Okay,
got.
great. Town administrator report, Ms. Green is not here, but, she will be returning to work, on December 1st. And, in your package is an update from our interim town administrator, Mr. Donovan. The FY '27 budget process is in, process, and all budgets are due back on Friday, December 5th. Town accountant Eric Kinshirf is prepared to make a presentation to the select board at its meeting on Tuesday, December 16th. And the next day, Amy Walcott will transmit all budgets to the Finance Committee. Finance Committee Chairman, Kevin Sullivan is aware of this timetable, so he can begin the Finance Committee hearings process once delivered. The new growth figure has been certified by the State Department of Revenue at $618,672, which is an integral part of the financial forecast, which will gel further once Governor files House 1 and local aid numbers are known in January 2026. With the completion of the tax classification hearing this evening, all financial reports are loaded into the state system and ready to be submitted to the State Department of Revenue for final approval of the FY '26 tax rate. All license renewal applications have been sent to the current licensees and are timely for final, I don't know what that means, renewal and approval by the select board in December. All issues that were pending when Lisa left have been resolved, and she will be met with a clean slate on all fronts. And all major projects are in process, are taking its natural course, so in short, you are in good shape for her return as you enter the next calendar year. My best to each of you as we all embark on the challenging fiscal times for FY '27. That would be, the town administrator report, and then just, one additional thing, there have been, school committee meetings, several Wednesdays in a row. I know several of you have been at some of those meetings. There will be another meeting tomorrow night, to discuss the deficit, and I am planning on being there, I just wanted to make sure that the board was aware that those meetings are ongoing. I did meet with, the superintendent, of schools and Carl Kowalski, as had been requested by the, school committee at their last meeting. We were not asked anything. We were not asked to take any action. The conversation was basically, Chairman Kowalski and I basically saying, you do not know the size of this problem or the cause of this problem yet. Once more facts are known, certainly we can have a conversation, but at this point, there is nothing for us to do. Superintendent Simonek understood and agreed and said that they were starting to develop their plan about how they would address the issues. So it was pretty short and sweet, and that was pretty much all that was said. As I said, I plan on being at the meeting tomorrow night, and if you guys aren't there, then I'll just report back, but you can always, I know it's on a Wednesday and you work, so you can't do it, yeah.
I have a meeting here, then I'm gonna run right over like I did last, I will be there, but I'll be there late.
Okay.
But it does seem like a lot of people are just like waiting for information, and there's a lot of lack of information.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, there does seem to be a fair amount of saber rattling and finger pointing. But I think at our last meeting that we discussed this, we were told that they had solved their fiscal 2025 problem. And then following that, there was the discovery that there's a fiscal 2026, which is what they're addressing right now. And they've hired a consultant, and the consultant is helping them maneuver through these uncharted waters and figure out what needs to be done. So it's an awful situation for the kids and for the parents and for the people that are affected by the layoffs. And it's an awful time of the year for all of it to happen. But at this point, we're gonna need to just sit back and watch the process that the school committee, undertakes, along with the superintendent and That's all we can really do at this point, so.
Okay, that's hard to do.
Yeah, yep. Okay, and then, is there anything I'm missing, ladies, that we should be chiming in on or mentioning? Okay. Okay, I do want to thank both of you for doing an amazing job of supporting the interim town administrator while he was here, both of you being fairly new to the job, but getting glowing reports from Mr. Donovan, which is not easy to do because he has been around the bend and back again. And he knows his stuff, so kudos to you, and I thank you. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment, and we're going to executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. Litigation discussions in union. To discuss reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health, rather than professional competence of an individual, or discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. And then executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A7, to review and approve executive session minutes not to be released September 9th, 2025, September 30th, 2025, and October 7th, 2025, October 14th, 2025. I will entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay, we will not be returning to open session. Thank you.